So just settling yourselves however you wish, lying or sitting, and letting your eyes close if you're happy to, or just letting them softly focus somewhere staring in a middle distance. And just feel the body breathing. And just check in with yourself right now. What's going on in this moment? What thoughts are bouncing around? What feelings, emotions, and any physical sensations? Not looking to change them, not looking for them to be any way in particular, but just noting what you find right now. And see if you can just allow whatever you find to be. Just resting with it as you settle. And I want to open tonight with some thoughts, some reflections on the 6 human needs and our need for love and connection. And the 6 human needs are behaviors that we will all adopt, that we all need to fill in some way. And the manner in which we meet those needs can be positive or negative or neutral. And that's in respect of us and those around us. And we all have a deep rooted need for love and connection. And we all desire love. And this isn't to be confused with a romantic love necessarily, although it can take that form. But it's a deep, abiding love and connection with something. And it can be the self. It can be the natural world. It can be relationships with others. There's a term to express this condition of love, and it's agape, A-G-A-P-E. And it's the concept of love that a parent feels for a child, a protective, nurturing, forgiving sense of love. And that's absolutely the sense of love that we need to find for ourselves, which is often the hardest thing for us to do. But we will find connection in the absence of love, because love requires us to be vulnerable. And oftentimes we've been hurt in life, and we've been hurt on our quest for love or our experiences with love. And so we become defensive and scared. And so we don't open ourselves to love willingly. We're very reluctant to do so. So we find connection instead. And connection meets the need to a point, but it leaves a yearning, something missing within ourselves that we strive to fill. And sometimes we can be lost through a great deal of our lives trying to find that missing piece. So I just invite you to reflect this week on love and connection in your life. How do you feel the need for connection or love in your life? Is it with nature, with people, with teams? Or perhaps you find connection through food or alcohol. There are unlimited ways in which we might feel this need for connection, and we might seek to find love. So just play detective and consider what's happening in your life and what needs it's meeting, and whether it's good for you or neutral or perhaps not that helpful at all. In tonight's mindful focus, we're going to mix some open awareness meditation with some focused meditation. And the open awareness is simply being open to whatever you experience: physical sensations, sound, the breath, even thoughts. And then there'll be periods of focused mindfulness meditation, and we'll focus on something very specific, such as the breath, or the feet, or the hands. So we'll start with some focused meditation. So just bring your attention, if you will, to the experience of the breath. Wherever the breath is most keenly felt for you. And that might be the tip of the nose, or in the chest, or the belly. And it doesn't matter where you find the experience of the breath. Just rest with it. Following the breath, if you can, from the very inception, through the in-breath, to the pause at the top of the breath, and then the gentle exhalation, and into the pause at the bottom of the breath. And see how closely you can rest with the breath experience. Really tuning in to the raw experience of breathing as you find it. And if you're distracted by thought, just note the thought. Note if it was pleasant or unpleasant or simply okay. And begin again with the breath, wherever it feels most keen to you. So you can experience cool air coming into the nose or slightly warmer air as it leaves. Perhaps there's an awareness of the rise and fall of the tummy, change in pressure in the abdomen, the movement of the muscles of the torso around the breath as the lungs fill and relax. And notice if there's any inclination or tendency to try and control the breath or change it, slow it down, make it deeper. Just see if you can allow the breath to be as it is, and note any impulse that you find without judgment, just with a curious awareness if possible. Seeing if you can focus on the breath to the exclusion of everything else. But seeing if you can do that without forcing. See if you can soften the focus, allowing the experience to settle with the breath. And just let go of anything else. Now I invite you to release that focus and open the awareness wide, expansive, open to experience that presents itself however you find it. What sounds are there at the moment where you rest? Perhaps simply the sound of your own breathing, or the sound of your computer, traffic outside, perhaps voices nearby. What physical sensations perhaps are there in the body to notice? Just allow your awareness to drift over the whole body as best you can. Not looking for anything in particular, not imagining anything. Simply open to the experience as it presents itself. And perhaps as part of that experience, you notice the breath. And is there any play of light across the eyes? Even if your eyes are closed, is there an interplay of color and shadow, movement? And if your eyes are softly focused and open, just holding your gaze wide, taking in the mix of color, of shadow, the texture. Just bathing in open awareness, whatever presents itself. And is there any taste or smell in the experience? And even thoughts, quite welcome in this open awareness. Remember, we're not trying to still our thoughts, not trying to stop them, but merely seeing them for what they are, thoughts. Not something we have to identify with. Not something we have to hold to be true. Simply thoughts. So just resting in open awareness, like a receiver, intercepting various senses, items that appear in consciousness. And see if you can be curious about the experience that you receive. Treat the sounds and sensations with wonder, just as best you can. Bringing a childlike fascination to what you find. If you become lost in a thought associated with it, just bring the experience back to one of your anchors, perhaps the breath or somewhere in the body, and then just expand the awareness again. And note if there's any sense of frustration with yourself for having been distracted in thought. And see if you can allow that to be simply a thought, something that you can note as well and let go. Now I'd like to invite you to narrow your awareness again, to focus as closely as possible, as keenly as you can, on the experience, the felt sensations in the hands. What is the experience of the hands like right now? Not imagining them to be any way in particular. There's no way that they need to be. How are they presenting themselves in the space of consciousness at this moment? Perhaps you can feel the sense of fabric where they rest. Or gravity holding them to you. Experiences of warmth or coolness. Perhaps tingling or numbness. And perhaps there's not much to feel at all. Seeing if you can feel the experience from within. Allowing yourself to rest as closely as possible with a raw energetic experience within the hand. And if it's possible, just see if you can let go of the mental visualization of the shape of the hands and simply rest with the raw experience. And if that doesn't come readily, just noting if there's any frustration or disappointment, any tone to the mind as a result. Or perhaps if you do find it easy, again, is there a tone accompanying that? Sense of achievement, pride perhaps, or happiness? Just noting whatever you find without judgment, with curiosity. With a sense of openness, if you can. Feeling from the hands. Not checking back to thought. Resting as them. Now let go of that focus and open again to whatever experience you notice. Other physical experiences in the body, sounds, color and shadow, the breath, feelings, and even thoughts themselves. Just cast your mind wide open. Give up all efforts to focus. What happens when you make no effort at all? What is the experience now? What does your attention find? If you become lost or fixated in thoughts, just note that thought. Begin again. Focus perhaps on the breath or an anchor, the hands, the feet. And then widen awareness once more to encompass whatever there is. As we begin to bring this mindful experience to a gentle close, just check in with yourself again. What's going on right now? What's the physical experience of the body like? The breath. Any thoughts or busyness in the mind? And any emotion or emotional tone to the experience. And seeing if you can just bring curiosity to that, not judgments, not looking for it to be any way in particular. Just noting what's happening right now. And I invite you, if it feels okay, to just give yourself a bit of gratitude for having come here tonight and giving yourself the care and attention, taking the time to be mindful, to practice this skill. Thank you.